Alright, hey, Hayes Mega here, and welcome to the after action review for Wednesday Night Drags, November 3rd, 2021. Alright, so if you've watched the previous video of all the racing and stuff, you'll know that I raced my 1991 Mitsubishi Galant VR4, also known as the Black Widow Galant VR4. Alright, this is probably going to go on my main channel, okay, because that's where I put all the Galant material. Alright, so I'm planning on selling this guy soon. All right, I just got too many cars, and like, yeah, I just don't have the money or time, or yeah, I don't have the money or time to take care of them all. So I think I'm gonna let the Galant go, which is kind of sad because there's pretty much no more work for me to do on it other than like put air conditioning in it. That's one of the reasons I don't want to keep it, is because it doesn't have air conditioning and it doesn't have cruise control. Okay. Other than that, it is a joy to drive, alright? But I did also make sure that before I left, I made sure I left extra early today so I wouldn't have to drive this thing through traffic too much, alright? So it wasn't too bad, alright? But yeah, no cruise control. It kind of sucks, man. Hayes Mega's got so spoiled with cruise control, especially on the RAV4. The cruise control is freaking awesome on the RAV4. Alright, so anyway, we get there. We get there pretty early, and we get in there, and then we do tech up on the hill. That's kind of weird. We never done tech on the hill before, so. And also, before I get too far into it, this is the after action review. So what this is the what was supposed to happen, what really happened, and what could we do to improve if we were to come back later next time, and what could we, you know, should we sustain, all right? Keep on doing that we're doing right, all right? Things that went right, things that went wrong, type of thing, all right? And it's a learning thing. So one thing I heard Vega learned is this car is very hard to drag race. All right? It's a manual transmission. Manual transmissions are really hard to drag race because you don't get very consistent times, and this proves it, right? The time slips prove it. So one of the things about today was, I guess it had rained the day before or something in Sonoma. Hayes Mega lives in South Bay, and Sonoma's in North Bay, and the North Bay is, I guess they get more rain than the South Bay lately anyways. And I guess the track was a little bit wet, so they were going to do the 1/8 mile. Hayes Mega, boo-hoo. I came to figure out what this thing does on the 1/4 mile, not the 1/8 mile, okay? But from our times on the 1/8 mile, we can estimate what times we would get on the Galant VR4, okay? There's a couple things, I'll talk about it later, that may make it actually slower, okay? And we can compare it to the RAV4. We raced this one the other month, alright? So, and this is like got 300 horsepower and all-wheel drive. This one has, my guess, I haven't put it on a dyno, maybe that's what we'll do before I sell it. My guess is that this putting about 200 to the wheels, alright? 200 to the wheels, and it probably weighs somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 pounds. I do know that this weighs more than 4,000 pounds. It's like 4,400 pounds. So this has got like tons of batteries on it. It's got 18 kilowatts of batteries on it. Alright, so that's how you can make the comparison. This one is more powerful, but it's heavier. This one is lighter, but it doesn't make as much power. So, and so we'll find out. We'll find that out at the end, all right? Anyway, so yeah, we get the car all teched and everything. So we're doing Sport Street, all right? That's what we raced on this guy last time, okay? Well, little did not, hey, somebody told, the guy that I raced tonight told me that we could have raced in a class called Gear Jammer, all right? Gear Jammer is for those cars that have manual transmissions, all right? And it's a pretty long class, actually. There's more than the Sport Street. So having a manual transmission kind of gives you a disadvantage at bracket drag racing, at least, anyways. Okay, but all it comes down to is how well the driver can, you know, repeatedly drive their car. Okay, like the key is consistency. You know, you don't really have to be fast. You just have to be able to do the same thing over and over again. Okay. So first pass comes along, all right, the first practice run, and Hayes Mega stayed on the right lane the whole time, the whole day, okay. I think the first race was against the Supra. Yeah, the Supra smoked us, okay. The Supra's fast. So we got. I'll put a picture of all the time slips, but the reaction time was .372. That's not very good, guys. Hayes Mega thinks anything below like a 0.1 and under is a good reaction time. All right, 0.3 means you better work on that. All right. You have no. Well, okay. I do have an excuse. It is a manual transmission. It is really hard to launch this car. Okay. This is the most difficult machine I have drag raced. All right. Funny thing is, I raced my Eclipse a long time ago. I don't remember it being that hard. Okay, but maybe it was. I don't know. So our 60-foot time was 2.59. 330 foot was 6.690, and the 1/8 mile. So the 1/8 mile is actually the same as a 660 foot. All right, and that's a 10.56. All right, so we were doing 10 on the 10.056 on the 1/8 mile. All right, that's half of a quarter mile, and we were hitting 73.43 miles an hour. All right, and that Supra did a 2.82. Wow, the Supra was 2 seconds faster than us. All right, you figured that Supra was probably got like 300 horsepower, so and it hit 89 miles per hour. Okay, that was the first pass, and I'm gonna go over the second pass. Oh yeah. So the first pass, I felt like I was creeping on the line. All right, that was the problem. I couldn't. So like a motorcycle is a manual. You know, you have a clutch and you have gears and all that, but you can stop it from moving. You can give it brake, and it's easy to manipulate the controls. On the car, it's not that easy. So I tried to stop, and the car would just kind of keep on creeping forward. I'm like, dang it, come on. And like, yeah, as the light was turning green, the car was still creeping forward. I was like, oh my God, we're gonna get a red light. So, but we didn't, okay. And then we took off. I think I deep staged. Yeah, I had deep staged, and we took off on the third light, and yeah, and I tried my best. What Hayes Mega's strategy was to rev it up to 3,000 RPM and just like let it go, all right, or slip the clutch. All right, so that was our first pass. 10 seconds. That's actually not too bad compared to the other times of the night. Okay, so the second run comes along. All right, I think we're racing a BMW. All right, and we got a reaction time of .361, 60 foot of 3 seconds, 330 foot of 7.172, a 1/8 mile of 10.521 or 660 foot. All right, and we hit 73.41 miles an hour. All right, that Beamer beat us by 0.0461, and we were catching up to it. All right, and the Galant was working great. All right. It was able to rev to full RPM, to 7,000 RPM, no problem. I didn't have any problem shifting with it. It ran great, okay? Just Hayes Mega wasn't doing a very good job, all right? So on this one, I had a big problem, all right? So so the last one we got a 10, now we got a 10.5. So we're half a second slower. What happened, Hayes Mega? So what happened is I bogged the car down, all right? So I had it up to 3,000. So what I was trying to do was the heel and toe thing. All right, I was trying to hold the brake and then rev it up with my right foot, and then I would have my foot my clutch foot all the way down. All right, so ready to attack. Right. So my plan was to when it was time to go, I would slip my foot off of the brake and go onto the gas, give it full gas, and then let go the clutch. All right. So, well, the problem was Hayes Mega dumped the clutch. All right. I let it out too fast. All right. And that's not good for the drivetrain. These all-wheel drives, they got pretty fragile drivetrains. Yeah, you sure you can try to launch it like a rally car, man, but I don't want to break it, man. Those rally cars are put through a lot of abuse, and doing all-wheel drive launches and just like revving it to the moon and just dumping the clutch is not good for the drivetrain. All right, you can break the transmission, something. All right, so I didn't want to do that. All right, so yeah, definitely the Galant VR4 could be faster if I sacrificed its life a little bit, so to say. Okay, but anyway, Hayes Mega dumped the clutch, and immediately the revs go down like a whole bunch. And then like it takes a while for the turbo to spool up, so that was the problem. I bogged the engine, and the turbo, I got turbo lag, so that's why we're half a second slower, all right? And I did the same thing. I waited for the third light, and then we went and we deep stage 2, and we still had a pretty bad reaction time, .361. That's actually a little bit better than the last time, all right? So you gotta tighten up your shot group, Hades Mega. Third run, all right? Third final practice run comes around, all right? So I kind of got the technique down now. All right, I'm gonna do the heel and toe thing because we don't have any more practice sessions, so I can't try different stuff anymore to see what works better. Okay, so I think we were racing a chord this time. All right, and so man, we got killed on the reaction time again. So we got a .349 on the reaction time, and we had a 2.413 60 foot. 330 foot was 6.380, and then we got a 9.662 at 74.73 miles an hour for the 1/8 mile. Wow, we got faster. We got faster by almost a second compared to the last run, all right, but about half a second as fast as the first run. So that's telling Hades Mega that we're screwed. Okay, the reason you want to do these practice runs is you want to get dialed in, all right? You want to figure out what times they're running most consistently, and we're not running anything consistently, all right? We're all over the place. The first run was a 10, the second run was 10.5, and the third run was a 9.6. So we got faster, and then no, we got slower, then we got faster again. I'm like, damn it, this is not good. This is not working, guys. But anyway, so this time around, I told myself, you better slip the clutch, Merlin. And I'm up there, I'm waiting for the tree to go down, and then I'm just like, yeah, man, this sucks. I hate it. I'm not comfortable with this at all. You know, I've got so much stuff to worry about. I gotta remember, I gotta release the brake and then step on the gas all the way, and then ease off the clutch. Don't just dump the clutch. Ease off of it so, you know, we can get the turbo spooling, all right? So guess what happens? I was able to do it, all right? I remember I eased off the clutch. Our reaction time still stinks at 3.49, but it's getting better. It's getting slightly better, I was supposed to say. All right, so yeah. So that gave us a 9.6. That's pretty fast, guys. And yeah, we beat the chord by like 0.3 seconds, almost half a second. Not bad. All right, but you better stop on that Accord, Hades Omega. Damn, dude, this Accord's not the fastest car in the world. That's what I was saying. All right, so yeah, now we're in kind of trouble, but that was like one of the best passes. That was the best pass of the night, all right, because I was able to get the turbo spooled up, all right, in first gear, and then just like go, and this car shifts very good, you know, and it revs nicely. It's got a good power output, is what I'm going to say. So yeah, this car is a dream to drive, man. It's got plenty of power. Like I said, Hades Omega guesstimates it's making 200 to the wheels, to all four wheels. Okay, that's what my guess is. All right, it's pretty quick, and it's tuned pretty well. All right, maybe at the end of the video I'll go over the mods on it that would make it faster, okay? Because this is definitely faster than the stock Galant VR4, okay? Okay, so the race comes along, all right? So Hades Vegas, I'm scratching my head. I'm like, man, we're just kind of screwed. We're like all over the place, all right? So I just go off of the last time, all right? So we ran a 9.6. So I was like, well, let's dial it back a little bit, all right? We'll dial it back to 9.5, all right, so we don't break out, all right. Supposedly you should be running faster throughout the night because it's getting cooler, the air is getting more oxygen, your car should be getting faster, right? Okay, so we dialed the 9.5, all right, and so we raced a WRX, all right, and one of the newer kind of WRXs, but it didn't have a manual transmission, so Hades Mega's at a big disadvantage, all right. My reaction time was .295, all right? That's actually the best reaction time I've had of the night, all right? The 60 foot is 2.562, my 330 foot was 6.574, and my 1/8 mile was a 9.869 at 74.43 miles an hour. So, well, we got slower again. I don't know what happened. I don't know how we got slower. Because my reaction time was better. Actually, let me go take a look at the last time slip and just compare. See how much faster we got, or slower we got. Yeah, so in the last one, we got a 2.4 for the 60 foot and a 6.3. Yeah, we were like about 2/10 faster. So I think, I don't know, because our reaction time was better. So for whatever reason, I don't know what happened. The car ran slower on that one. Okay, I don't know what happened. But we were so we dialed a 9.5 and we ran a 9.8.69. So we were 0.369 seconds, almost like half a second, off our dial-in time. All right, and so the other guy, the guy in WRX, dialed a 9.4. All right, pretty close to our time, so we should have been pretty close. But yeah, he passed the finish line before us, so he killed us. That's what I want to say. His reaction time was .189, so he was about a 1/10 faster than us on reaction time, so not good. All right, Ace Mega got killed on the reaction time, and I saw that, like, he took off like really fast. So his 60 foot was 2.329, his 330 foot was 6.341, and his 1/8 mile was a 9.553. All right, so if he had actually picked my dial-in time, he would be even closer. Okay, so yeah. So he dialed a 9.4 and he ran a 9.553, so he's off by 0.153 seconds. So 153 and a 0.369. His time is like twice as good as our time. Okay, so yeah, there's no way we would have won. So it says here he won by 0.3221 seconds. Okay, so that's counting the reaction time and our actual run. All right. We lost. So boohoo, Hayes Mega got eliminated in the last round. All right, so so what does that tell? Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go over things that you know, what happened and what we could have done better. All right, so we could have. Hayes Mega was thinking of trying to use the e-brake to keep the car from creeping. All right, or we could have tried to stop, and then I don't know, we could have tried to creep up to the line and then make sure to stop and it stays stopped. But that's kind of dangerous because, like, the light could go down automatically, you know. I was trying to get there before the light would start, you know. That's what I would say. If you don't have to worry about holding the brake down, it's a lot better, is what I'm thinking. I think I should have tried that. Use the e-brake to keep the car from moving, and then yeah, you just got to remember, you got to drop the e-brake, you know. So we would be in first gear, and my hand would be on the left side. One hand would be on the left side of the wheel because I'm holding the e-brake, right? But and then once the light goes down, I drop the e-brake and I gun to give it gas and then ease off the clutch. All right, so we could have tried that. All right, that's another technique that Hayes Mega wanted to try, but we didn't have enough time to do it. All right, we didn't have enough passes, so I went with the heel and toe technique. And I thought it was okay, but it just felt really awkward. I didn't like it, man. Maybe I just need to practice more, but we got a pretty fast pass with that one. And Hayes Mega was bummed that we weren't doing the quarter mile, but I'll talk about that. We'll compare it to this car, okay? So what else could we have done better? Our reaction times were shit, man. So, there's no way around it. Your reaction times were shit, Hayes Mega, in the Black Widow Galant VR4, man. This thing is just so hard to launch. All right, I was going on, so there's 3 yellow lights. It goes yellow, 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 and green. All right, so I was going on the 3rd yellow. So it goes yellow, yellow, go. All right, and then Hades Mega would go. And our reaction time is off still by a whole lot. So what I'm thinking, if we ever to race this again, all right, if I don't know, I don't think we will, but if I was to do it again and we wanted to do better, I think we should go on the 2nd yellow. Also, we were deep staging too. So what deep staging does, it makes your reaction times better, all right? And I tried to deep stage to help my reaction time, but I can only imagine if I wasn't deep staging what my reaction time would be. So I gotta say, all right, it is super difficult to launch this car, man. I'm telling you. The good thing about it is it's all-wheel drive, and you won't get any wheel spin, all right? I never had any problem with wheel spin, so that's a good thing, all right? And the drag strip is really sticky, okay? So that's a good thing about the Galant VR4. We don't have to worry about wheel spin, because on a front-wheel drive car, we would have to worry about that, okay? but we didn't have to worry about that too much. But we have to worry about breaking the transmission and drivetrain and all that stuff. Okay, so yeah, so one thing we could have done is we could have gone on the second yellow. All right, so if we were super duper slow, Hades Omega, just deep stage, and then just go on the second yellow. So when it went yellow, go. All right, and then it would go yellow and green. All right, and then hopefully that'll get your reaction time down to 0 almost. All right, so yeah, so that's what I think we could do better, is just go on an earlier yellow light. All right, so that's the good thing about the Sportsman tree. It's freaking slow, man. It's slow. You don't have to. Your reaction time doesn't have to be that good on the Sportsman tree, because it's like time like slows down when that light goes down. All right, so when it goes yellow, go. All right. Yellow, yellow, and then you go on the second yellow. All right, so I think, and then that would probably get our time to where we want it. All right, and then even then we could still, maybe we don't have to deep stage. We could just, you know, just stage in the middle, shallow stage, and then go on the first bulb. All right, so yeah, because you're Hades Omega, you're good at this. You're good at the pro tree. You know, the tree that just turns yellow and green. Yeah, I'm good at that, because that's why I race with the motorcycles. All right, so once I see a yellow light, I go. You know, that's how the pro tree works. So it'll be kind of like, it'll be almost like the pro tree, and then so you would just shallow stage, and then once you see the yellow, you go already. All right, and then maybe that'll get your time down. It might red light though. So yeah, we gotta play around. I think we just need more practice. This car definitely is going to require a lot more practice to launch. Okay, this is a cheater machine, man. It's a hybrid. It's automatic. It's a CVT. You know, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. You know, you just go, and hopefully it's repeatable performance. Okay, this one, yeah, it's like there's a lot of variables. You got to slip the clutch. You know, you don't want to bog it too much. You got to keep your RPM at a certain RPM. Okay, yeah, on the motorcycle, it's easier, especially the electric bike. All I do is I stage, you know, and yeah, and then that's another thing. Yeah, you have to worry about staging too, and I have to worry about the car creeping. So, but on the bike, it's just I just go up there, and you literally you could just use your legs to keep the bike from moving, man. So that's one of the pluses about racing a motorcycle. It's easier to stage it, man. And I would just hold the brake and then give it a little bit of gas. You know, and then once the light turned yellow, I would just let go of the brake and twist the throttle for the electric bike. Okay, the manual is a little bit harder. Yeah, you gotta slip the clutch and do all that stuff. And the one thing you have to worry about on a motorcycle that's different in a car is it does wheelies. All right, you have to worry about doing wheelies. All right, you don't want to do wheelies. All right, you're not getting power to the ground if you're doing a wheelie. That's what I'm gonna say. Okay. So yeah, that's the kind of differences between racing a car versus a motorcycle, is what I'm going to say. Okay. So like I said, my expectations were low, and yeah, that's what happened. We got killed on the first race, but that's okay. It was pretty. Our cars are pretty close. That WRX does a 9.4, and we were doing 9. We might have been able to do a 9.5. So we were pretty evenly matched with that car. Like, so if I don't know why we're a little bit slower on that last pass. That's a good question. Maybe I shifted too early. I don't know, man. Maybe I didn't shift at the right time. I can't remember. I'll have to watch the video, okay? But I was shifting at 7,000 RPM. That's where the red line is. So, and yeah, it pulled strong, man. It ran really good. So I'm really happy with the way I built this car. Okay. I think, well, Hades Omega, we'll see if we can take it on a dyno, alright? We'll do a baseline run to see how much power it's making. Because this is like the first project car that I've actually finished, you know, and it's all banged up now because somebody hit it, man. But anyway, let's go compare the Rav4 Prime times, okay? So one of the things Hades Omega is really disappointed of tonight is that we did the 1/8 mile, alright? So you figure, hey, you know, the 1/8 is just half of the quarter mile. You just double the time, but it's not that easy. You have to worry about like aerodynamics for one thing. All right. The good thing about tonight was there was like no wind, dude. It was excellent, dude. It wasn't hot. It wasn't too cold. You know, the weather was great, man. There was like no wind. This is the night to go fast, and we were doing the 1/8 mile, man. I'm telling you. what bad luck, you know, if it's a night that you're gonna go fast, it's one that doesn't have wind or you get a tailwind, all right? But we had like no wind like the whole night. It was awesome, dude. That doesn't happen often. That's all to say. So yeah, I'm kind of bummed that we didn't do the quarter mile. All right. I don't know why they did the 1/8. The weather was great, man. There was no reason to. I think they were worried about it raining and stuff. But so I'm really disappointed that we didn't get to do the quarter mile. So my expectations for tonight was that this thing could do either a 15 or a 14-second quarter mile. All right. That's a respectable time for a DSM. All right. That's what I'm gonna say. All right. I'll bet this one is heavy. This one's heavier than an Eclipse. All right, and I don't know. It's got about the same power as an Eclipse, but it's heavier and it doesn't have the aerodynamics of an Eclipse. All right, it's shaped like a brick, so this is gonna give you an aerodynamic penalty the faster you go. So that's why I'm saying, like, yeah, you can't just double the 1/8 mile time, all right? But yeah, we can go off of our best time. Well, let's go off of our 2 best times. Okay, so Hayes Mega believes this is a mid 14-second car, all right? It's a 14-second car, and I believe you. If Hayes Mega did a really good job of driving it, we could probably get in the 13s, maybe, okay? We could probably turn up the boost or something. I don't know how much boost we can run on this, but Hayes Mega keeps it at 14, 15 PSI, all right? It's like 14, but sometimes it spikes up to 15, all right? But we've got bigger injectors on it, but we also have a bigger turbo, all right? So I don't know when we'll get to the maximum injector cycle, so I just keep it at 14 just to keep it safe, all right? So, and it runs really good at 14. But we could crank up the boost, and we could make we can definitely get the car in the 13s if we crank up the boost. All right. The question is, like, how do we have enough fuel to do that? Okay. But anyway, the guy I raced in the WRX, his dial-in times were very similar to ours. He dialed in a 9.4, and I dial a 9.5. So that leads me to believe our car is just as fast as the WRX. It's probably a little bit slower. All right. So what that guy told, I asked him, hey, so what do you run on the quarter mile normally? And he's telling me he usually runs low 14. So that's what gives me an idea that's my hypothesis, is that this is a mid 14 seconds car. That guy normally runs low 14s. We're a little bit slower than him, so I'm thinking this is probably mid 14s. This would do a mid 14s, all right? Based off of that guy's time, and our cars are very similar. Okay. Other than that, yeah, he's got a CVT. But anyway, so here's another comparison we can make is with Rav4 Prime. All right. So Rav4 Prime, 302 horsepower, all-wheel drive, and it's hybrid electric. All right. And it's more electric than it is a hybrid. All right. Well, it's a plug-in hybrid electric. All right. But it's very, very heavy. I think it weighs like 4,400 pounds. All right, this guy weighs three something. All right, definitely more than 3,000. All right, it's heavier than the GSX. All right, I'll tell you that. So I have the quarter mile times for I have the best quarter mile time I got for this. All right, so and this thing is fast. I'm telling you, and it's easy to race. All right, so the quarter mile time was 14.226. All right, so we can't really compare that to this because we weren't running a quarter mile time. But however, I do know that a 660 foot is the same as a 1/8 mile. All right, so our best 1/8 mile was a 9.662. Yeah, 9.662 was our fastest 1/8 mile, all right, or 660 foot. So guess what the 60 foot of the Rav4 Prime was? All right, our best 60 foot. No, the 660 foot. It's a 9.186. All right, 9.186. All right, so it's about half a second faster in the 1/8 mile. So yeah, that extra 300 horsepower gets you half a second, guys. All right, so that would lead me to believe, yeah, we're half a second slower. All right, that's a hypothesis. All right, because remember the aerodynamic penalty. But this thing is much bigger than this, so I think it would be about the same. That's what my guess is. It would be about the same. Even though this isn't very aerodynamic, this isn't very aerodynamic either. That's what I say. Okay, so and we'll be going faster too. So We didn't really get to test that out on this because we only went 1/8 of the mile. All right, so 9.1, 9.6, half a second off. All right, so that and it got a 14.2. Yeah, 14.226. So if you add half a second to that quarter mile time, 14.226, you get a 14.7. All right, so that's probably what this guy's running. Like I said, mid 14. So that's further evidence that this is a mid 14-second car. Okay, so we can't do it until we actually do the quarter mile in it. But yeah, that's what I would say. It's a mid 14-second car. It's in the 14th. So the impressive thing is it's 14 seconds. This is 14 seconds. Okay, these are both 14-second vehicles, but this one has 300 horsepower. This one, my guess, has like about 200 horsepower to the wheels. Okay, so yeah, that's a really interesting. Yeah. You know what? The 302 horsepower, that's not to the wheels. All right. So my guess is this is 200 to the wheels. This is probably not 302 to the wheels. It's probably like maybe 280 to the wheels. That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, this is definitely faster than this, but not by much. So let's say 14 seconds is good because Hayes Mega used to have a 95 Mitsubishi Eclipse RS with a turbo kit, and I could do 15s with that. All right, and I was getting pretty close to 14s, and I heard a lightly modified GST can do 14s. All right, so that's good for this. All right, so that means it's doing what it should be doing. All right, all the modifications that Hayes Mega has done to this car, it makes sense on the quarter mile. All right, and that's about right. 14 seconds. All right, so it's got an intake exhaust, catback exhaust. It's got a bigger downpipe. It's got a small 16G turbo, my favorite turbo. It's slightly bigger than the 14B turbo. It's running 14 pounds of boost, and it's got Evo injectors to feed them. All right, and it's got a 3G MAF also, so it breathes a little better, and it has a front mount intercooler. So those are the stuff that make this car faster than like a stock, and also it has like better intercooler piping and stuff, like the basic stuff. It's I would say it's mildly tuned. All right, mildly tuned. All right. And I don't know if we can crank up the boost or not yet. We could do it, but you have to make sure you watch your AFRs, ladies and gentlemen. All right. The best thing to do is take it to a dyno and just keep on cranking up the boost until you run out of fuel, and then turn it back. And then now that's a safe part. And maybe turn it back 2 times. That's what it said. Okay. So that concludes the AAR. All right. This thing is hard to drag race. Okay. For sure. All right, it's been a long time since I drag raced a manual car, and it is tough, man. And the good thing is it's all-wheel drive. You don't get any wheel spin. All right. It really impressed me a whole lot. This car. It is quick. All right. I would say it's definitely not as fast as this, but it's close to it. It's close to it. All right. And this is only like 200 horsepower. All right. And this old dinosaur technology. This is technology from World Rally Championship in the 90s, all right, compared to the most technologically modern vehicle on the road today, right? The Rav4 Prime, all right, and so I am quite impressed, man. This car, and I know people can do like 500, 1,000 horsepower on this engine, man. This engine is amazing. So that's what I'm gonna say. All right, so yeah, good job, buddy. I'm proud of the work I put into this car, and and what it did tonight. All right, and I knew it was going to be hard to drag race it, man. so it sure enough it was. Okay, but so we found out from asking our buddy with the WRX what his times were. He was getting 14s. And then this gets 14s, and the 1/8 mile times are very similar. Okay, so that leads me to believe this is a 14-second car. Okay, and I'm very happy with that. We could probably get it in the 13s, and maybe we turn up the boost, and Hayes Mega drives it better. Okay. I hope you enjoyed that that AAR and watching Hayes Mega race the Black Widow Galant VR4. Thanks for watching. Hayes Mega out. That's the end of the AAR for Wednesday Night Drags, November.